Hello YouTube and welcome back to part number 7 of our two-handed Savagery Archon. Bit of bookkeeping to do, I guess. At the end of the last episode I was talking about skill points and devotions. I actually went and checked the guide that I was kind of using and realized that we missed something. So let's go back to Devil's Crossing. We're going to do a little bit of respecking. The guide actually had you max out Mogdrogan's Pact before we took Feral Hunger. So we're not going to do that, but I am going to take these 5 points out and we're going to dump it all into Mogdrogan's Pact. Also, I know I don't need that. So we have 4 devotion points. The guide itself calls for the Panther next. I'm going to change that again. Because this is hardcore, and because this build does not really have a circuit breaker, I'm going to take the Tortoise instead. The Tortoise will also give you 2 yellow and 3 blue, same as the Panther will, but it will be less offensive, less stats, less offensive ability and crit damage. In exchange, I want the Turtle Shell. This is a more defensive constellation. If you are playing softcore, I wouldn't worry about this. I would just go for the Panther, stick to the guide. I will later on, I will be 1 point short compared to what's going on in the guide, because the Tortoise is a 5-point constellation and the Panther is only 4 points. So when I get to the end, I probably will respec out of this. We'll see what happens, but I do want to have a circuit breaker, especially a few times now I've been a bit low, so I'm going to get this instead. The guide does call for the Panther instead of the Tortoise though. Okay, as far as skill points, I'm not going to take points out of Feral Hunger. It's too good. I really strongly believe you should be maxing that pretty much as soon as you can. The AoE damage at low levels is quite bad. So I highly recommend Feral Hunger. However, the guide definitely has you take Mogdrogan's Pact before you even unlock this. So I'm going to put the points into Mogdrogan's Pact. The next 2 levels I will max it out. And then I'm pretty much going to follow the guide at this point. The only, I guess we'll call them problems, weaknesses, whatever, I found with the guide was at low level it had very poor AoE, and I found I was struggling with packs of more than 2 or 3 monsters because I had to beat them down one at a time. Now, because I have Feral Hunger maxed, because I have the Bone Crusher, which again adds an arc to it, adds more targets to it, adds more damage to it, that problem kind of didn't happen with this playthrough. So I'm going to continue on and more or less catch up to where the guide says I should be, and we'll go from there. I think that was all of the housekeeping. I'm going to empty my bags while I'm here, and then we'll get on with the left side of Homestead. What were those boots actually? Is that Rifthound? Bloodhound? No. The armor is nice. I think at 35 we will go around and check out all of the faction vendors. I know we have Devil's Crossing is respected. Rovers we may be a little bit short. We'll see how we go. I may go and do a Steps of Torment run to get access to their stuff. We'll see what they have. We'll see how badly I want it. And potentially we could get there anyway. Alright, so we talked to Ulgrim. He will teleport here. So we talked to him, then we talked to Captain Soma. She will send us out to kill the Ethereal Amalgamation. That quest, I believe, opens this gate. Or potentially the one for killing the eggs. We'll open the gate, one of them. So we are just going to go around and bash these egg clusters. We need 10 of these. So this will not really take long, but they are only kind of close to the city, close to the town. I think they do spawn later on, but I'm not sure if they are the quest versions. I think they're only the ones that are close for the quest. Regardless, kill those. They're fairly easy to find, fairly easy to squash. They die in one hit. And we will continue down the road. There is a one-shot chest available in this area, but to access it you need to find a body that can spawn in, I think, 4 or 5 different huts. So I'm going to look for that and just show you, because it is XP and a one-shot chest, which is nice. Diala's Diary is part of a quest chain that we'll probably work through as well. For now, it is just a diary that we totally didn't read it, I swear, and we'll go and give that back to her in Homestead. This house up here, I think it is potentially one of the locations for the last will and testament of someone, I forget his name. But he basically says in that will that he buried a bunch of his stuff. He kind of tells you where it is, and you can go blow it up with dynamite, of which we have 5 now, so that's a decently healthy amount. You can blow it up with dynamite, and there's a one-shot chest behind it for a guaranteed blue. Okay, I'm going to clear this. I think that is the shield proc from the tortoise now. Potentially next point. Nope, here we go. Okay, so this one, I'm going to put it on Mogdrogan's Pact. This is basically, when you get below half health, this will trigger and give you a shield that will absorb a chunk of damage. The Grim Dawn community refers to them as circuit breakers because when you get low, they blow and you don't die. At least in theory. The tortoise is my preferred circuit breaker. I find that having that big shield, it's a 6,000 point shield at max level. Having that big shield, which you can then, you know, if you're playing a melee build, you're already going to have tons of attack damage converted to health. Having the big shield that comes up and kind of says, hold on, stop, pause, everybody wait, no more damage. That lets you then hit things behind it, and typically you will be back to full health before the shield wears off. And I find that to be more effective than the ghoul, because with the ghoul, if it triggers, whatever triggered it was already killing you, and you have to stand there and keep hitting it in order to get your healing, and then when it wears off, you better hope whatever it was that killed you or was going to kill you before is dead, because if it isn't, then you're back right where you were before it started. Which I guess is also true of the tortoise, but at least with the tortoise, you don't have to hit things to get the healing, so you can run away and not lose out on your circuit breaker. I don't know, I typically only take the ghoul if I need a circuit breaker, like if I'm doing a heavy red constellation build and I can't spare the points for the tortoise, then I'll take the ghoul. But I'm not a fan. I know a lot of people swear by it, but yeah, it's not for me. Right, we're still looking for houses for this note. Before we go in there, I will go and get the rift gate, now that I'm finished waffling about the ghoul. There is another section down here that requires dynamite to clear, and behind it there's a little girl who's been lost and you have to go and save her. Which I'm pretty sure everybody does the first time. They're like, oh wow, a girl who's been trapped by a cave-in. Yeah, I should definitely free her. And It's not a good idea. I will actually show you what happens. I will let her out, and you'll see what happens and why you shouldn't. If you kill her, then you will get a rare crafting component, a Blood of Chthon, which is actually why you want to do it. This journal kind of explains what's going on, but take note of this camp. There's people here that are alive, and it looks just like a regular camp with a few caravans. So, detonation site, 1 dynamite. Let's go in. So, this little girl, Callista, trapped with a cave-in. How did you get trapped? Of course I'll help you out, and I'm going to let her out. Check on Callista in the rover camp. Oh no. Oh no, it was a demon. Yeah, so it turns out the little girl is a demon, and if you let her out, she kills everybody here. And, oh, you still get the Blood of Chthon. Okay, that's interesting. So I've done this before, and I actually didn't know that you still got the Blood of Chthon. And I got a Rift Stone. So used in your weapons, adds chaos damage, converts physical to chaos, so we're not using this. But if we were playing a chaos build, this is a decent component. I didn't actually know that the demon was here to fight. I fully expected to come out here and just find bodies and things on fire. Ah well. Today I learned. Alright, we need to go find, I think it's Walter, whatever, whoever's body has the note that'll let us blow up that wall. There's a couple more places we can go to check. These flesh-warped commanders have the chest MI that I want. Unfortunately that one didn't drop it. And a blueprint for physical damage and offensive ability. That is a good blueprint. This one uses Ancient Hearts and Chipped Claws though. It's quite expensive. It'll probably make 3 or 5. I will probably not use that so much, but later on that will be quite a useful blueprint to have. I think if the body is not, there it is. I was going to say if the body is not in here or the house to the north, we'll just skip it. So the last will of whoever it was, Marthos Everbrook. And we found a double rare pair of gloves. So you have a rare prefix and a rare suffix, and they don't line up at all. So those gloves are actually not amazing, but they are an upgrade for us, so we'll chuck them on. Okay, so that body is not always here, as I say. It can also be in this house, it can be in, I think in this house and this barn. I forget exactly where the places are, but it's regardless, it's a random spawn location, and you need that item in order to access the detonation site. If you go there without the note, you will be able to see that there's a chest behind the wall if you know where to look, but you will not have the ability to blow the wall up. So, now that we have that, let's head over and get it, and then we will squish some bugs, kill the amalgamation, and probably call that an episode. always fun when you try to dash through the green lightning, only to push the wrong button, get told that skill doesn't happen, or is not ready, and then have to stand there and tank the damage. Okay, so if you follow the road, and then off to the left here, you'll see this blue spot and the star on the map before you get there. 1 dynamite, clear it up, and then we get the hidden wealth, 5,500 XP, which is a decent chunk, and 1 guaranteed blue item. So we got a belt. That is a very nice belt. We are going to wear that, and I'm going to do something I wouldn't normally do. So I don't recommend you do this. If you have a blue item with something like an anti-venom salve, something cheap on it, I would recommend throwing this in the stash to keep for your next character. For me, I'm not going to have a next character, so I'm just going to take the augment the component, sorry, off of it. But if you ever plan on playing another class like this, say for example you're playing along and you know that if you die you're going to start again, and you're going to play it again and you want to get this to level 100, that item is one that I would definitely hang on to. I would just make another anti-venom salve. They're cheap and it lets you keep the belt. Like I said though, I'm not going to. This will either get to 100 or die on the way, and I will start another character. Actually, for anyone who's watching, if you comment below what sort of character you would like to see, I could probably be talked into doing just about anything. Whether you want to see pistols or a pet build or even retaliation, although that will definitely be boring. I have leveled as a retaliation warlord before, and I mean, you either level as force wave or you level in like 3 times as long because you have to wait for things to hit you. But, you know, if people want to see it, I could definitely be talked into doing it. So comment below if there's something you particularly want to see leveled, and I will do it. As always, I will be playing solo self-found hardcore, and so eventually you'll get to see me rip a character, which I don't know why, but YouTube seems to have a perverse pleasure in watching other people's characters die. I think I missed the hive over here. Again, the hive is a randomly spawning location. It could also be up here, actually. And again, I'm going to plug Grimtools' map feature. If you haven't been to Grimtools, if you don't know how the map works, it is very, very useful for idiots like me who know the thing is here somewhere, but can't remember all of the exact spawn points. I'm going to go check out the north, and it's probably going to be down there. Oh no, here it is. Okay. So, the Dermapterans and the Royal Hive. You're not going to get Royal Jelly out of here. The XP is so-so. This one, this little cave entrance here, has the only thing down here that you care about is a potential exalted chest, which will be in this room. It is here. So it was worth coming down here. Usually I will poke my head in, see if this chest is here or not, and if it's not, I will just leave and go back to the first area. Okay. So there's our guaranteed blue, which was looked like a one-handed sword. So guaranteed rubbish for our build. The rest of this area just has monsters and random, you know, bodies and chests and stuff with no real, I wouldn't say no value, but it's not something you need to worry about. You can get that stuff anywhere. You are literally just checking for that chest and then leaving. Again, getting stuck on one tiny body in a hallway. If I had one complaint about Grim Dawn, it would be the pathing in certain areas is absolutely garbage. Okay. This super secret wall has one body behind it. That's it. A couple of green items. Nothing fancy. First time I came through here, I was super excited to find that, and turns out that actually, no, it's not worth anything. The Skittering Den does have something cool in it though. It has the access point to another troll area, in which you will find Golus, who drops an MI ring with a low chance that I'm absolutely not farming, but which is, I believe, technically the best ring for this build, certainly while leveling. So hopefully it drops. If it doesn't, I'm not coming back to try and get it. So, like I said, hopefully it drops, and I don't really care if it doesn't. This is far too long, and he has far too low a drop chance for me to bother trying to farm this, especially on normal difficulty. This is the kind of minute optimization you would maybe try and farm for one on ultimate, but even then, I just don't think it's worth it. That is a lot of damage. So you would have seen the turtle shell. I didn't actually notice it myself, but I'm pretty sure it would have procced just then. So that is a shield for, what are we up to, 500 or 600 now? 900. So it's a 25% shield. And the thing I like about the tortoise is that it is quite a low cooldown. Alright, so we're done with the tortoise. And we'll be moving on from there. This is Golus here, with the big skull above his head. He can do a lot of damage very fast. I've had characters go from like pretty much full health to dead in maybe 2 or 3 frames. I think it depends on what kind of damage he's doing, or what kind of build you're in. This is his ring. It does have +3 to Mugdrogan's Pact, which for this build is quite good. I will probably swap this out for the Cronley's Signet, because I don't really need bleed damage. The offensive ability and attack speed on that is pretty nice though. But yeah, I'm gonna, when I can wear it, I'm probably going to wear that. If I don't find anything better before I can put that on, I will put it on instead of the Cronley's Signet. Alright, Brimstone Shoulder Guard. I don't think that's going to be an upgrade for us. Small increase in armor. That probably is a minor upgrade, but it's not a big deal. I'm not going to bother. I believe the next devotion we were looking at was the Hawk. Oh, that's right, we used that on the tortoise, didn't we? So yeah, the next devotion we'll take will be the Hawk. It's just a 3-pointer. Just there, I believe, for the colors and whatever minor bonuses it offers. I think it has some attack damage converted to health. I do this every time as well. I'll come around the right side and realize that I've blocked myself off from the exit. So unfortunately it caught me doing it this time. Okay, so we're looking for the 2 Grand Viziers at this point. Did I already kill one of them? Doesn't look like it. So, the 2 Grand Viziers have their hearts, or I think it's a pheromone pouch or something. You have to kill them to get the item. You need both of them to open the door to the Queen. There's the pheromone gland. And conveniently, Grand Vizier in Ixil is right next to the first one. Okay, pheromone gland number 2. One-handed dagger we're not going to use. This door opens with the 2 pheromone glands and will not if you don't have them. And this is the Queen's Chamber. There's a lot of trash in here. This side here, these 2 side rooms, I think the one up here has a chance to have the Exalted Chest if you don't find it in the previous area. That was not a one-shot chest, we just got lucky. So the Queen herself, you can see her in the top right behind the map. She has 2 different phases, I guess. You fight her once while she's attached to the wall like that, she'll die, then she'll get up and chase you around. I find the first phase to actually be a lot harder than the second, because she does so much poison damage in the first phase. Potentially the Exalted Chest could be up here. So let's beat her down. Be ready to run away. There is absolutely no shame in running away, especially on hardcore, because it is very hard to beat the game and get to level 100 on hardcore if you are dead. So, her second phase, you will not be able to run away from her, or at least it will be quite difficult. But she does a lot more, I think, piercing damage in this phase and a lot less poison. Just be careful of the roof falling down. Should be okay. Yep, there we go. Dropped her MI. Can't carry anymore. Alright, we are done in here. I am actually going to go back to town and vendor all this crap. But this is how you get out. And there is one more thing we need to do before we head back to Homestead. To turn in all the quests. But for right now, I need to make room in my bags. Because again, iron bits are not really that useful until suddenly they become very useful. Those gloves are quite good. I'm going to probably use those gloves. What was that hammer? Yeah, see, this would be something you could use if you didn't already have a Troll Bone Crusher, but by this stage in the game, you've been through the Troll Caves. You should have a Bone Crusher, and if you don't, go get one. Honestly, they're just look at the damage, the DPS if equipped. This is one of the few builds where you can actually kind of trust that particular number. And that is a huge downgrade. Just go get the Trollbone Crusher. As you can see, Chaos Resist, we will buy that. Poison Resist, not really a big deal for me. We're already capped, and we'll probably be capped for the rest of the game. I'm not going to bother with that one. I will put that on there, and there we go. So now we've got Battle Cry, which is basically when we get hit, so this is going to be active for 12 seconds every 30 seconds. And 10% total speed means attack speed, run speed, and cast speed. Only 2 of those are actually useful for us, but they are useful. Okay, this potion here, the 25% chaos resistance, we will use that before the end of the next video, I think. I'm going to take the Spirit Bane Ointment as well, because we're about to take a whole bunch of ethereal damage, and it will be good to have that resistance. Okay, so we're on our way now to the Ethereal Amalgamation, which we're going to fight outside of a barn. There's a whole bunch of lore behind this. If you talk to the townsfolk, you will get most of it. When you kill the amalgamation, there is a lore note which will explain sort of the ethereal side of it. The story in this game is mostly spelled out through lore notes. You will go into like a crypt, and you know there'll be 4 lore notes spread around the crypt, and they'll tell you the story of the guy who helped to build it and how he was betrayed and buried alive in there and all this. And the stories are actually pretty decent if you're into that sort of thing. Certainly better than Diablo's story, if you want to call it that. A lot of ARPGs, the story exists entirely for, you know, provide a reason to go whack a whole bunch of stuff. Where there's not a lot of depth behind it a lot of the time. Grimdawn's lore, I guess you'd call it, is actually pretty good. Alright, the amalgamation. Let's neck that potion before we get killed. I'm probably going to have to run away at various points, like now. Those waves definitely hurt. And we are standing in Aether Lightning. He almost looks like a dog with floppy ears. Alright, so there's the kind of the ethereal side of what's going on here. I'm not going to read it again if you want the story. Or you could pause on that, but also, like I said, I highly recommend just playing the game. It's a really good game. Right. Where do we want to go from here? What does Heart of the Wild give us? It's alright, I guess. I'm just reading on my other screen, sorry about the dead air. So he's saying we want to work our way up to Storm Touch. Alright. Looks like we're going to be putting points in the bar for the foreseeable future. Okay, inside here, a couple of chests. That's it. We're done here. So this side of Homestead is pretty much done now. Now it's time for the north side. The conflagration you can do if you want to. You will get Homestead reputation for getting the guns. There's a boss out there. There's a skeleton key dungeon, which we haven't really covered yet. It's Port Valbury. Not my favorite dungeon, but there's some good stuff drops there. A lot of builds have MIs from there. The belt for this build is from Port Valbury, so definitely we will end up doing it at some point. I think when I finish normal, I will probably go run through each of the skeleton dungeons one time, just to kind of show them off. But yeah, I think we'll probably call it a video here. It's been decently long, so I believe this was part 2, part 7 of the series. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in part 8. Thanks.